Indian food seems to be one of those cuisines that a lot of people are scared to try cooking at home. And to be honest, it was a cuisine I used to be scared to cook myself because the flavors are so complex that it must be just as complex to cook, right? Wrong. A lot of Indian cooking revolves around a few staple techniques and essential spice blends. One of those spice blends and the first one I was introduced to is garam masala, like this house blend garam masala from Diaspora Co. It's really hard to describe garam masala to someone who hasn't tasted it because it's a feeling of warmth that it creates and not just a taste. But it really does have a way of completely transforming any recipe. So as I learn to cook Indian food, I rely on my garam masala to take that front seat. But not all garam masalas are created alike. Most of the ones on the market have got a lot of fillers and are far from fresh. I personally like the Diaspora Co. house blend garam masala because you can tell it's so much fresher just by how much more warmth and depth just a few spoonfuls bring to the dish. Like with this marinade for the chicken drumsticks, I added 2 spoonfuls of their house blend garam masala and that brings the bulk of that unique umami flavor to elevate it. I like to supplement that with some other spices like the Diaspora Co. Kashmiri chili powder because I like it spicy. There's nothing complicated about this marinade other than mixing up some high quality spices with yogurt and lemon juice. But the flavors are next level.
If you aren't a fan of Brussels sprouts, this might change your mind. So after 5 minutes in the oven, enough bacon fat is rendered that you can mix it all together in the bacon fat without using any extra oil, and then you can add seasoning to it, and then you can roast it until it's fully cooked. Bacon ranch Brussels sprouts. Can you really go wrong with this?
So you have this amazing high-protein cranberry applesauce. If you're past your pureed stage, let's go ahead and make you a high-protein, delicious crumble. And this recipe couldn't be easier. To a small strainer, you will add a 1/4 cup quinoa, rinse, drain, and add to a bowl. Then add a 1/4 cup old-fashioned oats, 1/4 cup of chopped pecans or walnuts, 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar or sweetener of your choice, 1/4 teaspoon ground allspice, 1½ teaspoons ground cinnamon, and a pinch of sea salt to help bring out the flavors. To make this more nutrient-dense with added plant protein, you will add 2 tablespoons ground flaxseed and a 1/4 cup almond flour. For a healthy fat to combined, add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and give this a good stir until well combined. Now you're ready to assemble. Preheat your oven to 375, add your high-protein cranberry applesauce, and fill halfway to a single-serve pie tin. These single-serve pie tins are great for bariatric patients. Add your protein crumble to the top until completely covered. This crumble topping recipe makes 4 servings of these single-serve pie tins. Add your crumbles to a cookie sheet and cook for 20 to 25 minutes and enjoy.
Okay, hear me out. I know she may look like Barney's brains, but isn't she a beauty? This whole head of purple cauliflower is not only so high in fiber and antioxidants, but also beauty-boosting polyphenols. And when you pair her with my delicious creamy dill sauce, you're going to be in heaven. I did mayo, rice wine vinegar, honey, mustard, salt, pepper, garlic powder. I don't think I missed anything. 10 out of 10. What do you think?
If you grew up in an immigrant household, chances are Thanksgiving was anything but normal in your house. Think spicy masala chicken instead of roasted turkey. And growing up, all I wanted was the quote-unquote regular Thanksgiving meal instead of all these random cultural twists, but now I'd have it no other way. This year, I'll be sharing 11 unconventional Thanksgiving recipes, so follow along.
Your mother-in-law called, she's coming over for dinner, make this salad. Start with a sexy pear. Throw it out like your ex-boyfriend. We all know that now. Pears are the sexiest fruit. Ask me why. Because they're curvy. Peel the orange. Shallot or onion. If you're kissing somebody, use a shallot. Just saying. Making our dressing. Play with me. Lemon. Pinch of salt, pepper, sumac. Honey, some amazing extra virgin olive oil. Now we're talking. The radicchio, the star ingredient. Onions, pears, oranges, walnuts, and feta. Oh yes, beautiful things are happening.
Inspired by date night at Farina's Supper Club, here is the Sunday salad, which you're going to love. Plenty of greens, beautiful cheese and olives, salami, pepperoncini, to name a few. Toss it up. Perfect for Christmas Eve.
Every single piece of this dish is so balanced. I can't get over it. Today we're gonna make a agrodolce roasted winter squash with walnut pesto. So I'm gonna do about 2/3 of a cup of white wine vinegar to about a half a cup of honey. A little bit of salt in there, drop it just to like a medium high. Meanwhile, let me get a little Fresno chili minced for us into our vinegar and honey. Oh, and some currants. Let's add these in too. So I have about a cup of walnuts here. Those are gonna roast. Now we can cut the squash. Be careful, guys. Be careful when you are cutting squash. And then I'm just using a spoon to easily scoop out the seeds. Okay, I'm just giving this a swirl now and then. Squash, I feel like, call it 1-inch half moons. And I'm just adding them to a bowl, which I will use to give them a quick toss with a little salt and olive oil, because these are going to roast 425 degrees, call it 20 minutes. And we'll flip it maybe once in there, and then we will brush it with the agrodolce and continue roasting until it is pure, sticky sweet, tart, juicy, a little bit spicy. Perfection. The base of our pesto is going to be these walnuts, along with a clove or two of garlic, a nice pinch of salt, along with our basil. I'm also adding some fresh parsley into this mix. Before I add in the cheese, I'm gonna give this a little quick pulse. This is what you're looking for before we start to add the olive oil. Nice crumbly texture. Once it's at that texture, we're going to start to slowly drizzle in some olive oil. All right, turn your machine on low. Slowly drizzle in the olive oil. Let's get our microplane and grate in some lovely Parmesan. Let's finish up over here. First of all, before I start to do anything to it, take a look at this plate. Now, scoop up some of that lovely agrodolce syrup. Excite the palate even more with a little bit of this rich and delicious walnut pesto. And then a scattering of our fresh Parmesan and a tiny little sprinkle of salt. Let's eat.
If you're on potato duty for the holidays this year, this is the only recipe you'll need to make the fluffiest, creamiest herb butter infused mashed potatoes that are guaranteed to impress your friends and family. Start by peeling your Yukon Golds, then cut them into 2-inch pieces so they cook evenly. I'm using Kettle and Fire's organic chicken broth to give my potatoes that extra flavor boost that makes all the difference versus using regular salted water. Simmer for 20 minutes until fork tender and strain, and be sure to save that starchy broth that's perfect for thickening up gravy or soup. Melt butter over medium heat, then take some fresh thyme and rosemary and finely chop and toss them into your butter. Next, add grated garlic along with some salt and pepper. Give it a good mix and infuse for 5 minutes over low heat. Rice your potatoes back into the warm pot, then add your infused butter, some freshly grated Parmesan, and a cup of half and half to bring it all together. Fold until smooth and incorporated, season with salt to taste, top with freshly chopped chives, and enjoy.
This might be absolutely crazy or it might be genius, but I had a thought. If we're going to be drinking our holiday cocktails or mocktails with big indulgent meals anyway, why not give them digestive benefits? So you're sipping on something that'll help keep your blood sugar stable and your gut healthy through your 7th serving of mashed potatoes. This is a cranberry rosemary digestive mocktail, but let me know if you want more of these. I'm curious what you think.
Boil some eggs. Peel them up. Cut them in half. And pop out the yolks. Add 4 tablespoons of low-fat cottage cheese, some mustard, splash of pickle juice. Whatever spices you want, make sure you add paprika. Salt and pepper. Mash it all up. Scoop your mixture back into the egg whites. Of course, we've got to sprinkle with paprika.
Let's taste them. Your family will never know that they're healthy.
How is this only 50 calories? It's so good. Welcome to day 5 of Pumpkin Week. Today we're making pumpkin spice donuts, and this shit right here is only 50 calories.
Do not think you cannot have your favorite foods while on a weight loss journey, sis. See what I did there? Do not donut. Yeah, I don't make funny jokes, but I do make recipes that are simple to make and easy to fit into your diet. And this shit right here is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, 50 calories for a donut? Are you kidding me? Check out the caption for the ingredients, measurements, and macros. And if you love recipes like this, make sure to check out my profile to join my waitlist for my new cookbook and be the first to get notified when this shit right here goes live.
This is one of my favorite ways to make chicken. Let's make this lighter version of a Tuscan chicken that's fluffed with veggies and so delicious. Olive oil to a heated pan. Chicken breast or chicken tenders, lightly seasoned with salt and pepper, and cook for 3 to 4 minutes on each side. While the chicken is cooking, whisk together a 1/4 cup of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of arrowroot powder or cornstarch. When your chicken is done, remove it from the pan and set that aside too. The same pan the chicken was cooking in, another drop of olive oil, garlic. Cook for a minute or so until the garlic starts to brown. 13 ounces of light coconut milk, broth and arrowroot mixture. Sun-dried tomatoes, a couple tablespoons or about a 1/4 cup. Herbs like basil and thyme. Season to taste with a little bit of salt and pepper. And simmer for another 3 to 4 minutes until all the flavors are incorporated. I fluff with veggies with 4 cups of spinach. My hex flat knives make it super easy to take the extra step and chop up my chicken really quick. I'd like to think it'll impress anybody. I made it for my in-laws, so I hope it did.
All right, we're back with another Starbucks macro-friendly like holiday drink review. People say coffee is like anti-serum, you know, and I'm feeling a little sassy today, so that's why I justify getting a coffee. Anyway, this is a venti blonde Americano with 1 pump of the caramel brulee syrup, 3 stevia and almond milk. I usually just do 1 pump. She said like a tall, they usually do 3 pumps. So this is like very minimal. I always just get 1 pump because it's really hot. I can just like tell. Oh, this might be my favorite one. One sec. I like really need to proceed with caution. Oh my god, that is so yummy. This one's very like sweet and I love it. Yummy. Okay. Anyway, definitely recommend getting this one. And because I'm feeling a little sassy, I want to make somebody's day, you know, just to brighten my mood. So tag a friend below who likes Starbucks or who would like this drink. And I'm going to pick 2 winners to give you guys Starbucks gift cards just to, you know, brighten your day. And
Every November, I get so many messages from people telling me they can't cook, but they somehow got roped into bringing a dish for a party. And the last thing they want to do is be someone who just picked something up from ShopRite while everyone else made a home-cooked meal. I get it. That's why every single year I usually recommend making this baked spinach artichoke dip, which is probably why this is the #1 trending recipe on my site every November through January. But it's just that good and it's super, super simple to make. You don't even have to chop an onion simple. All you gotta do is grab a bowl and add in some frozen chopped spinach and artichoke hearts. To make it simple, we just use canned artichokes. Then I add about 4 ounces of cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, garlic powders, a little bit of paprika if you want, and a pinch of salt. Then you're gonna mix it up with some Alfredo sauce and bake it. It's honestly so good, even my Indian parents love it. If you're Desi, you know they have pretty high standards, so this is definitely a hit every single year.